fast forward to the meat of the content as to why I'm here. You do not have to wait until I get started and wait for people to come on. Again, you have an advantage if you're watching the replay. Just fast forward through all of the preliminary and get to the meat of the content as to why I'm here. Let's see, let me make sure I shared it. Say hello to me when you come on. Say hello to me when you come on. Say hello to me when you come on. We're going to talk about this Section 8 that's being proposed for the fiscal year 2026. Hello, Will, how are you? Don't get off. Stay on, because my people are going to come. We just have to give them a minute to come on. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this Section 8. We're going to talk about this Section 8. Let me make sure I shared it to Facebook. Let me see. You guys say hello to me when you come on. Say hello to me, y'all. It's been about a minute and 54 seconds, almost 2 minutes. So I need to give more people an opportunity to get on. And then I'm going to jump into while I'm here. Y'all say hello to me when you come on. Y'all know how it goes. Give people a chance to get on. I know people have work today and they're kind of unwinding at this moment. So I'm not going to keep everybody long, but we need to talk about this Section 8. Hello, Tyra, how are you? We have to talk about this Section 8 because a lot of us are just looking at the headlines and we're not talking about it. So it looks like I have about 38 people now. So we're going to kind of dive on in since we have 38 people watching and the rest of them can catch the replay. Now, here's the deal. For those of you who are here, say hello to me. Say hello to me. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Y'all go ahead and like the video. If y'all like the video for me, it's going to push it out. So like the video for me so we can push it out. Here's the deal. Here's what we're here to talk about. Okay? This is what I want to ask. You guys know when I come on, I never try to know everything because we are all forever learners. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how many people are aware of what the fiscal 26 is. 2026. Okay? That's what I want to talk about. Here's the deal. I come with this question, and I'm coming tonight with this because we have a lot of people who are on Section 8, okay, and receiving assistance, and they're not paying attention to what the fiscal 2026 year is. Now, for those of you who do not have Section 8 and you don't have housing, but you have a family member who does, here's what you need to know. And somebody fact check me if I'm wrong, okay? Because remember, my channel, we don't do that over here. I don't know everything. Again, forever learners, right? And so somebody fact check me that's on here. October the 1st through September the 30th. Okay, that's our fiscal year for 2026 as far as the government is concerned. Am I right? Am I right? The purpose of this video is to let people know who have housing and you have some type of housing assistance. Okay, you don't have to next year, January 1st. 2026. Hello to everybody who's coming on who I may have missed. Hello, hello. I pray everybody had a great day. Did you guys hear me? Okay, y'all know how we do this over here. Give me some feedback. How many people are aware that this cut and this change is not happening January 1, 2026? The federal government fiscal year is October the 1st through September the 30th. Okay? Somebody help me out with that. Somebody help me out with that. So if this is the case, we have people who are paying attention to the Diddy case. Okay? We have people paying attention to whether or not what's going to happen with TD Jakes and all of the other people that's being named in the trial. We got people paying attention to the protests, the Iranians, Israel, all of that. That's fine. I promise you it is. But remember, you pay the most attention to things that are priority. If you are in housing, okay? If you are in housing and you receive some type of assistance, did you hear when the fiscal year starts? We're in June. Okay, we're in the middle of June. Next month will be July. What plans do you have in place? What plans do you have in place? Here's the deal. I'm not here to get into anybody's business. I'm not here to be nosy. I'm not here to call anybody out, right? Bonjour to you as well. Hello, hello. Are we prepared? Is your sister prepared? Is your mother prepared? Is your brother prepared? I'm going to say it again because new people are coming on. Listen, guys, the fiscal year for the federal government, okay, is not January 1, October the 1st through September of this year. There are a lot of people that are going to be impacted and not going to have anywhere to live. Listen to this. Listen to this. I want you guys to really pay attention to this, okay? The rental assistance supports over 4.4 million low-income houses. This is going to drastically affect people. Here's the people that is going to affect: retirees, disability, people who are on disability, the elderly, the veterans. Here's the deal. They do not have until next year. If you have somebody, okay, who is on Section 8 and receiving assistance, if you care a little bit about them, please make contact with them and let these people know that they do not have January the 1st. Okay, they do not have January the 1st to prepare. Many of them are going to be evicted. Okay, and here's the deal: the budget would replace federal programs with state administered funds, totaling $31.8 billion compared to the $58.5 billion. So what does that mean? If we're honest, it basically means it's going to go away. And here's the real thing that everybody's missing. There's going to be a 2-year cap. Okay, so even if you qualify, there's going to be a 2-year cap. The aid for our homeless people, okay? The people are going to be homeless. So we already have a large number already, right? They are going to have a 2-year cap as far as them being able to receive assistance. But a lot of them are going to be homeless. Like the video if you haven't liked it so we can push it out to get it to other people. Okay, like the video for me so we can push it out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Here's the deal. I'm being redundant on purpose. For those of you who have come with me to hear me talking about the protest, to hear me plead and hear my heart about the troops and how they were being verbally abused, hear my heart. Hear the sincerity in my voice. Okay, the fiscal year is not January the 1st of next year. We see 2026. And for those of you who would say, well, people should know when the fiscal year is. What is? Well, guess what? Many people don't. Many people are just seeing 2026 and they think that they have time, when in fact they don't have time. Let me take a look at the comments. 911 was a national tragedy. Judith said, thank you. You're welcome, Judith. The purpose of the video is to help people so they get prepared. A lot of people are not prepared as to what's going to happen and what's going to take place. Let me pull away from what I was about to read to say something that I feel like will help so many people. Stop being selfish. Where do we get being selfish? Help somebody. How many of us know that we have people in our family or we have close friends who are on housing and they don't have a plan? They can't even think of what they should do. The only thing that they're doing is that they're going to just hope that everything works out. Well, first and foremost, of course, we pray, okay, to our Lord, right? For him to help us. Okay, we get that. That's a given. That's priority. But there's things you have to do in the natural. You can't just sit back and just pray. You have to put work in. Okay, faith without works is dead. If you have a couple of family members who you know that's on housing, okay, those people may have to come together and take the money that they have to be able to stay in one place, to rent out a place, because if they try to live apart, okay, they're both going to be homeless because neither one of them have the funds to stay alone. So if you have two cousins, the cousins may have to pull their resources together to rent out an apartment. Two sisters, okay, or two neighbors. You have to give them some alternatives and ideas. The same thing with the elderly people. And my heart goes out to the veterans. You know, they fought for us to be safe here in America. And I just never have liked the way that they've been treated, but they're going to be affected by this as well. They're going to be affected. So anybody that you know that's receiving housing, remind them of the fiscal year, because many people are not aware of the fiscal year. We cannot pay attention to everything that's going on and not pay attention to the fact that this budget cut is coming. Mr. Meaner says, how much money should I pay for someone else's housing? Well, here's the deal. If you're asking me what you should pay, maybe you shouldn't pay anything necessarily. Maybe you should do what I just suggested. Give them an alternative to what it is that they can do to assist and help themselves. You think so, twin? Do you think so, twin? People see favor and turn into animals. Well, here's the thing, twin. I feel like it should be a gauge when you help people, right? We don't just help people forever and ever and ever and just constantly give out the handout. So if I help somebody with something, it's not supposed to be ongoing. It's supposed to help them to get on their feet. And when they get on their feet, they should be able to sustain themselves and then move on as it pertains to living. So it shouldn't just be all the time. HURFR says, pray for the victims. Yes, we have to do that. Arizona said, grind harder. Arizona, that's funny that you would say that. I have some young adults, maybe late 20s. And whenever I mention something like this to them, they make that same statement about they have to chase the bag a little harder, which is kind of the same thing as grind harder. Can you tell me how they would grind harder if they're not in a position to do that? Here's the deal. I believe that applies to certain people, but if we have people who cannot grind harder, right? Isn't it our responsibility to take care of them? You know, America sends money elsewhere and takes care of everybody else. Now, do I know and recognize that we have people who take advantage of free? Absolutely. Okay, but there's a way to eliminate that and still take care of the people who need to be taken care of. And I have people who say all the time, well, you know, it's not going to apply to the people who really need it. I don't know. And here's why. If you know anything about this budget cut and this program that's about to be rolled out, the federal government, okay, everything is being shifted to state. So the state will take care of it. So if the state is going to take care of it, wouldn't we have some issues from state to state with discrimination and different things that should not take place because now it's in the state's hand? So that's going to be an issue as well. That's going to be an issue. You said you never look to the government to solve your problems. I can agree with you on that because here's the deal. I've always looked to God in prayer, and I've prayed, and then I go to work. So I can kind of relate to what you're saying. But what about the people who are not in a position to go to work? Maybe their mental state, maybe they have physical conditions, so forth and so on. Shouldn't we take care of those people because they can't? They can't take care of themselves for whatever the reason. They may have cancer or, some other type of disease, and they cannot go to work. We take care, and I hate to be redundant, but we take care of everyone, right? Mike Shock said, praise Jesus. We take care of everyone. Barbara Graham LeBee says, there are some people who do. However, the Bible teaches me that the poor will be with you always. Absolutely, they are. Twin says, I've been homeless. Some of them people want to be there. I think you need discernment. Okay, Twin, I can respect you saying that. Here's what I'll say. What I think people need to kind of get from what I'm saying, I've said it a few times. This does not apply to everybody. So your statement said you think that some people want to be there, right? Which has nothing to do with my discernment. So here's the deal. For those who want to be there, they can stay there. Stay with me. They can stay there. This is where they want to be. They don't want no help. They want to be bummy. They want to be out there. Let them stay there. But for those who do not want to be there and they're not in a position in life to be able to take care of themselves because of disability, okay, or some type of sickness, or they fell on hard times, there should be something in place to help them, right? That's just fair. That's just me, okay? The point of society is to strive for a happy and healthy population. Why have a government if not for that purpose? I agree with that. I can agree with that. I really can. Crystal Clear says, what about this being systematic? Well, like I just stated, I think that a lot of times we kind of just like not able to look outside of the box or think outside of the box. We kind of just box everything in, right? We can't do that. If I could put a disclaimer and say, okay, and I'm going to try to remember to keep saying it. This is not for everybody. Somebody just made a statement and said some of them want to be out there. That's true. We even have some people who is abusing the system. Okay, we get it. Cut them off. They don't need it. Cut them off. I'm all for that. I'm all for if you want to be homeless and don't want to do right. I'm for that. But my thing is this. For the disabled people and our seniors and the retirees and the veterans, come on. Come on. They're going to get lost in the shuffle of this. Okay? And my heart goes out to them because whether you want to admit it or not, you know that they're going to get lost in the shuffle of this. And America should make certain that that does not happen when we're all over the world taking care of everybody else. My heart goes out to them because they're going to get lost in the shuffle. And that's just the truth. Many people want no rules and regulations in America. I can agree with that. Trump is making your Bitcoin great again. Okay, congratulations. How do you tell the difference between someone taking advantage and someone that really needs? It isn't that simple. You keep saying it's not for everyone. How do you know the difference? Because here's the deal. If we can take money and send money to other places, we can implement things where we have particular guidelines, or where we do periodic home visits. You know, when you work on a job, they'll tell you we're going to do some randoms. What is the purpose of a random? uh, a random is, you may come to work one day and somebody may say, hey, let's get some urine because we need to make sure that you're not high, getting high. They're not going to do it every day, which means, guess what? I may dodge the bullet this time, dodge the bullet that time, dodge it this time. Boom, I got caught. So we should do some random visits. So if mother says, hey, it's just me and the children and nobody else is here, but she really has a man staying there, she's getting food stamps, Section 8, so forth and so on, we should do some pop-ups, do some randoms. Are we going to catch them all? No, we're not. But we have to put something in place. Now, that's just me. Okay, so I pray that that answered your question, Misdemeanor, as far as it's a way to do it. We can't catch everybody, but it's somewhere to start. Amanda says, yes, we need to get back to smaller again, local offices, and not keep getting bigger until I'm working for an app. So now you want to have full access to everyone's lives that need assistance. No, it's not going to be full access, but we have to put something in place if we're going to provide assistance to eliminate some of the fraud. Here's the thing, Misdemeanor. On the job, when I'm on that person's job, right? Let's say I'm working for X corporation. When I go to work and I'm working for X corporation because I decided to work for X corporation, there are guidelines that I have to follow. And some of the guidelines are, I can't get high. So is that an invasion of my privacy? Because here's the deal. I'm not getting high on X corporation premises. I'm getting high at home in the privacy of my home. So why does X corporation have a right to say, hey, I'm a random check you? As long as I'm not high on their job, it shouldn't matter. Okay? So I hope that kind of analogy kind of helps a little to explain that. Vermont says, I am disabled and I live on disability and SSI. I make $936 a month. Without my voucher for housing, I'm homeless. I live in a studio that costs $1,300 per month. Wow. So I'm going to try not to get emotional. So Vermont, are you telling me that my reason for coming on tonight when I read this, because it kind of bothered me, you're one of those people? Or is that what you're saying, Vermont? And I'm going to wait on you to respond. So Vermont is saying, I'm disabled. I'm going to read it again. I'm disabled and I live on disability and SSI. I make $936 a month. How many of y'all know that that's pennies? Vermont, I didn't mean to disrespect you by saying that, but I'm just trying to make a point. $936 a month. Without my voucher for housing, I'm homeless. I live in a studio that costs $1,300 a month. This is a problem. And I came on, and I don't know if you were on here at the beginning, Vermont, and my point that I'm trying to make, the first thing was, people need to know that the fiscal year is not January 2026 for the government. The fiscal year is going to start October the 1st, okay? October the 1st. And I came on to say that people need to start to prepare. So many people looking at the Diddy case, looking at the protests, and just paying attention to a lot of stuff that don't make sense. When this is going to creep in, This is already June, the middle of June. July is next. And my point is, okay, what about people like you? And I didn't know I would have somebody to come on. That's all I'm saying. What are we going to do about people like Vermont? Those, we should be taking care of those people. So sure, my mom is the same as Vermont. I moved her home with me. Listen, let me say this, and I don't care who gets offended. People can get off. I'm going to say it. To the Vermont lady, I pray to God. I pray to God, and to tell her for your mom, I pray to God that something works out. I pray that something works out. Because here's the deal. It's going to be so many people like you guys who are going to need help, and people are not going to pay attention. People can be so insensitive. Elizabeth said, what do people need to prepare for? Elizabeth, okay? The President of the United States, Trump, okay, the fiscal year 2026, he's doing a massive cut to housing. And a lot of people are going to be evicted. A lot of people will not have a place to live because without the funding, they cannot afford their housing. We have somebody on here who has already stated that they receive $936 a month. So that's why I'm here to ask people to please pay attention and do what you can to prepare. Elizabeth, then we had another lady who commented and said she moved her mother in with her, which means what she did is what I suggested. If you have a cousin, you have a brother, you have somebody, go ahead and start preparing and do what you need to do. We even have some people who have families. You guys live apart. You have siblings. It may be 3 sisters or 2 brothers and the sister, and y'all live apart and y'all are all on housing and you receive a set amount of money. You guys are going to have to come together and live under the same roof to make things happen. Come up with a plan. Don't wait. You don't have the time that you thought you had. You don't have it. The time is going to be here sooner than what you think. Here's the deal. The news is not throwing this at you. The news is not throwing it at you. They say a little bit here and there. They're talking about other stuff. You know why? Because this budget cut is in the works. And people are not paying attention. Vermont said, I was homeless last year after leaving an abusive relationship. For 7 months, I was in a shelter. Some were druggies, yes, but many more were disabled. And that was my thought. I don't know everything, and I'm not trying to know everything, okay? I'm here to converse and to give information. I would love to believe that the majority of the people who are homeless and having issues are people who have a problem. I'm not saying that addicts are not out there, but the majority of the people are people who fell on a hard time. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. I don't come on to say anything that's crazy. I come on to help. I come on to have dialogue like this, okay? Because the news is only going to tell you certain things, and when the news is telling you certain things, I'm going to come and tell you what you need to pay attention to, okay? Because the Bible tells us to watch as well as pray. How can you pray if you're not watching? You watch to know what to pray for. Okay, so we don't just go pray. What are we praying for? So we watch. Okay, I have SSI 967 per month. Wish I got free housing. Oh, wow. So Melissa, you only receive 967 and you don't receive housing? You don't have to say what city you live in, but I would love to know what state that is, if you don't mind sharing. But if you do, don't worry about it if you don't mind. Elizabeth said, I hope something works out too. It will. Something has to work out. Okay, so twin, what's the real problem? You want to share with us what the real problem is? Because here's the thing, twin. If you've been on with me before, you have to give me credit, and so does other people. I don't come on to know everything. I'm open to hear what others have to say. A lot of times when you go on people's channels and you go on social media, they go and they block you. I don't block people, even when they say something negative, because that's not real life. You know, even as a child, when I would go home and I would tell my mother that they said something racist to me, she said, put on some thick skin. Did it kill you? I said, no, ma'am, it didn't. She said, you'll be fine. Welcome to the real world, because people will say things to you. So even when they come on and say this, I don't get rid of them. I let them stay here. So again, twin, that's the beauty of having our own mind and having our own thoughts. So what is your perception? Share with us. Okay? Share with us. There's no right or wrong here. My mom is the same boat. I moved her in with me. And this is Coach. To every person that's on here that is so kind to move your parents in with you, God has to bless you. There has to be a blessing. You know how many elderly people are just thrown away? I mean, they're just thrown away. What am I begging for? I didn't hear that I was begging. Reese, what am I begging for? God, we have to store up for the evil days. I agree. We do have to store and stock up. Austin says having to get an actual job. Yes, some people do need to get a job. As stated, there are many people who are on the system and receiving, and it's fraudulent, right? And then some people aren't. And I'm concerned about the people who will get lost in the shuffle. I'm concerned about the people who aren't properly prepared. Amanda said Jesus will provide. Yes, he will. I'm in agreement with you. Yes, he will. They need to prepare to get another job. Lopez, can you help me with something? Is there anybody on here that's blue collar? I'm being told that blue collar workers aren't able to just readily go get jobs like they used to, that the job market isn't as plentiful. So a lot of people loosely throw that out there about jobs. Depending on where you live, Lopez, people are having issues with employment. Tracy says if you need a job, you can get, if you need money, you can get a job. Same comment. A lot of people need to get a job. Same comment, same response. Okay, twin. That's okay. We're presumptuous. Okay. Aaron says, get a job. A lot of landlord has housing foreclosed because of renters forgiveness. Okay, the worst thing I've ever did was allow Section 8 in my homes. So, old Nick, I'm assuming you have rental property and you allowed Section 8. So why was that the worst thing? Was it bad because of the governmental vouchers with the Section 8, or was it the tenants, if you don't mind sharing? That's why we need to vote Congress out, take back the House. Okay, crazy videos. Okay. Prepare. Correct. I agree. Project 25 is in full effect. Okay, Chris. I hear you. Melissa, I love you as well. God bless you. Um, Voted Democrats for 50 years and wondered why things never got better. Mister, that's interesting that you would say that. And here's why. I've made some recent contact with people, and I've had a lot of people to say to me that they voted Democrat for most of their adult life, and they switched over because they felt like it just wasn't working. And so I was really surprised to hear them say that. And it wasn't just people of color, right? So that's interesting that you would make that comment. I've had some other people to share that as well, that they have voted Democrat for so many years and they felt like, things didn't get better and that they wish they would have switched sides sooner. So I just thought I'd shed some light on that since you made that comment. We do have to vote this administration out in the midterms, is what DOT of Wynn said. To everybody who's saying about the job, Did we hear um Vermont on here who said, and I don't know if Vermont is a male or female, so I don't want to be disrespectful and say he or she. So I'm going to just say Vermont said that they were disabled. You know, everybody keeps saying get a job. What about the people who cannot get a job? Can somebody speak to that for me? Can somebody speak to the fact of people who can't get a job? Okay, thank you, Vermont. So what about let's talk about somebody who I believe is dear to everybody's heart. Okay, let's not talk about a elderly person. Let's not talk about a disabled person who has cancer. Let's put them to the side. Let's talk about a veteran who has fought in the war. Okay, and they don't have what they need. Okay, they can't go get a job. What are they supposed to do? It's not all about jobs. Do I agree with you guys? Yes. Okay, I don't want to mess up your name. DZ, Dinezi. I don't want to pronounce it. I'm gonna just say D. A veteran like myself. So D, I'm gonna just call you D because I don't want to mess up your name. What do veterans do? You said you're a veteran. What do veterans do? Like, how are veterans surviving? Oh, wow. JC Rains. Trump just said that he was going to allow doctors to refuse treatment to Democratic veterans. Really? Especially if they're single. That would be an oath violation for a physician. Wow, I didn't hear that. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. The issue is that a lot of people that have Section 8 around me qualify with lies, unfortunately. The thing about it is this, the answers. Here's what I believe. Okay, nobody told me this, but this is what I believe. I believe the current administration is going to take care of a lot of fraudulent things, okay, with the Section 8 system. I do. And I'm not opposed to that. My whole concern is the people who will be homeless, who's not doing anything fraudulent, who's going to get lost in the shuffle of things. $12 an hour doesn't cut it. No, it doesn't, Teddy Owens. It doesn't. This will affect my father, who's a disabled veteran. Two of my neighbors also disabled veterans. Okay, so Vermont is commenting to what I just said when I said, hey, let's put everybody to the side. And that's no disrespect to other people. But I'm just thinking veterans, like, I can't say it enough. I'm free to be here to do this video and talk to you guys, and you're talking back because somebody went and continue to, even now as we're talking, who are risking their lives to make certain that we're free, and we don't properly take care of them. That has always bothered me. Always. Trump actually kept his promise and increased my disability by 12% back in February. Wow. Okay. Okay, thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that. Why would they get kicked out if they're not doing anything wrong? Because there's going to be a cut. They're doing a cut. So if they're doing a cut, doesn't that mean that if you have a limited amount of money or resources, it can only go so far? So people would be affected. That's my thoughts. I could be wrong. That's how I'm thinking. Yeah, he just signed this executive order today, June the 16th, 2025. I never even said you need to be saved. So now we just rejecting Jesus, and you trying to tell me know what you're talking about, Kelly. Twin, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking with somebody else because, of course, I can't read every comment. Which is where Christian values come about, and we'll have to take care of each other without the government. Amanda, you're absolutely right. And I totally agree with you. People are really going to have to be neighbors, and people are really going to have to make amends and put the foolery to the side that they have with family members and take care of one another, because we'll have to rely on one another. You're absolutely right. Well, I pray that's not me. I'm disabled. I was born with sickle cell disease and cannot afford to live in the streets and have no one. Um, Michelle James, I pray as well that God makes a way and that it's not you as well. That's where my heart is with everything. People are tired of their money going to pay for freeloaders. Jay Ramsey, I'm with you. I don't want to pay for freeloaders as well, because I feel like if I have to do what I'm supposed to do, people need to do what they supposed to do. But Jay Ramsey, let me speak to what I continue to say. I want the people who cannot do what I do and are not well in their bodies. Okay? I want them to be taken care of. This is America. I don't want to see any more homeless people on the street. I like to address the answer person. When you're on Section 8, you have to fill out paperwork and get recertified every 3 months, 6 months, anytime your income changes. Oh, okay. So basically what you're saying is it would make it hard for them to get over, because they're filling out paperwork that would show the amount of income what they have. Veterans in my family didn't get a raise. You can't get some veterans a raise and not all. Well, I wonder why all Jerry King didn't get their money. That's interesting. She's saying I'm presumptuous for speaking the truth to God. That's exactly why y'all lost and run in circles. If God ain't first, you're a headless chicken. Twin, here's the thing. I don't know if you was on when I came on. I spoke to that already. And what I said was this: God is first, okay? We have to pray and trust him. I said that, and I'll continue to stand on that. And then if any of you who would go and look at my page, and that's how I live. But at the same time, he does not want us just sitting back and just praying. He said faith without works is dead. So we have a part to do, right? And so for those of us who know that we're going to be affected by this, and we cannot go out and get a job, and they are disabled, okay? Let's get a plan in place. That's the purpose of the video, to get a plan in place. I trust God. I'm going to pray to him for every situation that's going to arise. But it does not mean that I'm not going to go to the store and prepare. I live in Louisiana, where we are always battling with hurricane during hurricane seasons. I pray and ask the Lord to take care of me and my family every year. But I still get to working. Okay, I still get the sandbags. I still go to the store and prepare for supplies because of the power, electricity that may go out. So what am I saying? We have to prepare on both sides. So we have to prepare spiritually and we have to prepare naturally. There are some people who are thinking things are going to happen January 1st, 2026, and it's not. Okay, that's not the physical year. And so I'm here to tell people to start preparing. If they know that they cannot pay their bills before they are evicted, prepare now. I appreciate you debating people in a civil manner like a normal person and taking everyone's point into perspective. I'm dabbing. I appreciate you for taking the time to make that statement, because that tells me that you are a person who's intelligent, and I love to converse and communicate with people like you. And here's the reason why. We learn this way. There are often times we have tunnel vision and we cannot see in the lens of another person. But when people come and give their input, it helps you to look at things from a different perspective than you typically would have, which in turn helps everyone. Okay, when you sit around and talk to the same people who you typically talk to, they gonna agree with you and you gonna agree with them. But when you get a diverse group like we have now, that's the beauty of everybody giving their own opinions. And then when we close out of this, we get to look at things from a different perspective. So I appreciate that comment. You're constantly having to fill out paperwork regularly to get recertified. So your comment shows that you don't know what you're talking about. It is already happening always. Okay, are you talking to me or somebody else? I'm not exactly sure. But regardless as to who you're talking to, I'm assuming that you're doing what I just said. You are telling them from a different opinion perspective of something that you know, and you're sharing it with that person. What is the reason behind these cuts, and where do the money go after the cuts? That's a good question, Chris. Do anybody on here know? Anybody on here know? That's a good question that I don't have the answer to. Will he soon be a veteran and cutting his own disability? The number of cuts that don't take place until immediately after midterms just disgusts me. Talking about I don't need to be saved. I got material. Material is all going to be gone one day. Your soul won't, though, go to heaven or hell. So that's the fake stuff. Don't work. Okay. Everyone needs to be saved through Christ. Totally. I agree. There's a lady near me that continue having kids to not age out of Section 8. Huh? She says this publicly. The issue is the bad apples. We just need to find a way to remove them. The answer, if that's what people are doing to stay on assistance, that's going to be taken care of. Here's the deal. I didn't read that anywhere, but here's why I'm to the belief of that's going to be taken care of. With us having so much of funding for Section 8 in the housing assistance, with it minimizing to about this amount, the fraudulent people are going to quickly be weaned out. That's just a given. That's just my perception of it. I don't know how other people feel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And here's why I'm asking you to subscribe and to like for me. I like the conversing. It's good. And when I come on, you'll be notified. You won't get a notification if you're not subscribed. So subscribe, please. When they cut off all these programs, that money is going straight in billionaires and millionaires' pockets. It's obvious where the money goes. You just don't want to acknowledge it. People dodge too much of dark truths. They want to de-enfranchise and end your life if you are black. Acknowledge it and be free. Acknowledge what? Maybe I missed something, twin. Teddy Owens, thank you for saying hit the like button. If y'all don't mind, please hit the like button for me. I really would appreciate it because it's going to help to push the video out. When people come on and be biased and people say things, and we have so much of social media and people are not saying anything. They're just on social media just to be on social media to I don't know, get validated, and some of them have low self-esteem, and so they come on and do different things to feel better about themselves. And my purpose of coming is really to shed light and to help. I don't come on just to come on. So a way to tell me thanks is to like the video and subscribe. So I appreciate it. Social media is a downfall. That's why I did away with it all. Gotcha. Money is an illusion. A person on any public assistance has to do annual or every 6 month reports to the assistance program. The cuts to the programs will go to the rich I can't pronounce all of that pocket. So basically, what you're saying is the money is going to go to all of the rich pockets. Somebody else just said the same thing. Um, it's obvious where the money goes. Okay, I mean, at the end of the day, regardless as to where the money goes or where the money doesn't go, um, I want to leave everybody with this, and that is, okay, if you have a family member or if you have Section 8 housing or some type of rental housing assistance, please do not think you have until January the 1st, 2026, because you don't. Come up with a plan and have something in place. Do not let what the news is talking about distract you. When I say that this should be headlines and one of the main things being discussed, because a lot of people are going to be evicted and the homeless rate is going to skyrocket, it is not one of the top things in the news. It kind of shot out there and then it's kind of like dwindling away and people are not paying attention. So a lot of people are going to be caught off guard. Make whatever arrangements you have to make with another person whom you may know that's in your situation so you guys can pool your resources together to prevent being put out. Okay? That may mean you move in with them because they have a 3-bedroom house. Okay? And you have a 1-bedroom house. But you're going to have to figure something out. Somebody on here made the statement and said that we're not going to be able to rely on the government and we have to do things ourselves. I agree with that person. I'm not sure who it was. We have to figure this out. You can no longer just look at the news with the protesting with Iran and Israel and all of what's going on with that and the Diddy trial and all of the other stuff. Pay attention to this housing. I don't care if you don't see it in the news. Google it. Pay attention. Okay? Because a lot of people are going to be evicted. I'm emailing my voucher provider tomorrow and finding out what their plan is for the people on vouchers. Vermont, I'm going to say this to you. If I didn't help anybody by coming on, okay, I came on to help people. I promise you I did. Just a reminder to tell people. If I didn't help anybody, I believe I was led here by God to help you. Because here's the deal. Because I came on and said that, you brought out a point that everybody needs to hear. If you have any type of housing assistance or you know somebody who has housing assistance, you need to do just what Vermont is going to do. Email your voucher provider and get some information. May I help someone out? Let me help somebody out. I'm not an attorney, and I'm going to give a disclaimer. I'm not giving out legal advice. So nobody comes to try to say, okay, you were trying to give out legal advice. I'm not giving out legal advice. But here's what I want you to know. A phone call perhaps can never have happened. Okay? But when we do text message or we do emails, those are paper trails. So many of you who receive assistance or you know somebody who receive assistance, go ahead and shoot those emails to where you have to, because what are you doing? You're doing what it is that I suggested when I first came on. Get proactive, get to moving. You don't have a lot of time. Get to going. Email these people and ask them, hey, what's going to happen with my voucher? What's my situation? What is the protocol that's in place? Because here's the deal. There are no details to tell you anything. It's just a big headline and it kind of leaving people confused and wondering. So do what Vermont is doing, which is to place an email. I think about the elderly when these cuts play out. Kelly, I do as well. And I said that, and then I shifted to the veterans. Like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. It really is. I pray that I have helped somebody in some way. The purpose of the video was kind of to come and inform people. This is the time for folks doing wrong in God's face, causing some of his children to suffer, to get so low you have no choice but to look up. May God have mercy on y'all. I pray that God has mercy on everybody. In the last video that I did, I think the last two, I was in the vein of we got to get back to saying God bless America, because America is in trouble. America never looked the way that it looked right now. We don't look so well. We look a little sick and we need some healing. And the only person can do that is our Lord. Okay, that's the only person that can do that. So I pray that I help somebody in some way. I thank you guys for coming to rock with me tonight to hear what it is that I had to say. I'm just trying to help somebody. How many of you, if I'm not asking too much, hello Hunter, how are you? How many of you, even though you may not receive housing, how many of you are going to share the information with somebody else? How many of you are going to share with other people that you know? You're welcome, Barbara. Thank you for the information. How many of you are going to share with somebody that you know they're not getting housing fraudulent? All of us know people who do fraudulent things as to get assistance. But then I also know some people who really truly need it. Okay? It was a pleasure meeting. Thank you, Chris. Same here, likewise. I will share with the community is what Barbara LeBee says. Thank you. That's what you have to do. Vermont made a really good statement. And that statement is that she's going to email. If you receive housing assistance or you know somebody, please tell them to email. Tell them to shoot an email. Please, y'all. Tell them that the lady came on. Her name was Nicole. She said, don't call because a telephone call didn't happen. How you going to prove a telephone record call? You can't deny email, and you save your email. Okay? Save your email. And you have it. You have to tell these people what they need to do. They don't know what to do. Okay, they have no clue what to do. Then when they show up on your doorstep, you can't stay with me. We already crowded here. We'll help them now. Tell them what to do now. And for those of you, thank you, Becca. She said, yes, document. Just email the person I work with to get my voucher through. Thank you, Vermont. That's what you do. And for those of you who know you got a sister, you know you have a cousin that is on SSI or have some type of disability, they take a ton of medicine, they mind kind of go and come, email for them. You can email for them and you say, I'm emailing for Rachel Johnson. She's a neighbor of mine and I'm concerned and she wanted me to blah, blah, blah. And you shoot the email and you have a tracking of it. It's so much you can do. We have to help. We have to help. I'm going to repeat, somebody on here said, we can't rely on the government. We have to help one another. You're helping when you do that. That's helping. That is helping. And for those of you who are super deep and spiritual and say things like, oh, well, she came on and said that and she's a Christian and I didn't hear this and didn't hear that. I'm still ministering. I'm helping. This is helping. This is what people need. My mom is affected since she lives as a caretaker to an elderly disabled gentleman. She doesn't have funds to keep a place for the two of them. Vermont, I'm going to keep you and your family in prayer for the situation that's at hand. I'm going to keep you guys in prayer. I'm done, you guys. I thank you for everybody who shared, because here's the deal. You didn't have to share. And you shared because you wanted to share. I couldn't make you share. I couldn't make you like. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, so my channel can have more subscribers, so I can allow more people to come on, because I get to high numbers and I get this blue box that tells me you cannot have any more people to come on because you don't have enough of subscribers. So when you subscribe, you're helping me so other people can come on. Okay. I'm confused because how can they put someone out who's been disabled all their life? I have Section 8 Social Security, all that, and I'm following the rules. So they're going to put me out. Here's the thing, Michelle James, and I'm going to be done when I answer Michelle's question, y'all. Michelle, that's the reason why I wanted to come on, because what I do here on my channel, I can't speak for other people. A lot of people come on channels that they have, and they come on like they know everything. When I say they answer every question and they just know everything about everything, I call them know-it-alls. That's not me. I come on because I love the beauty of everybody's input, which allows others to view things from a different perspective, right? So here's what I will say to that comment that you just made. If we have a stack of money and then we only have a little amount of money, okay, we're going to have to eliminate people who are receiving the services, right? Now, it's a given that fraudulent people will probably be first, right, to get rid of them. But my common sense knowledge also would tell me that in some regard, we're not going to have enough of funding for people even who need it. That's what I'm to the thought of. I could be wrong, right? I haven't read that anywhere. That's just my opinion. Now, somebody else may view it a different way. So if we having these massive cuts, and you can Google it for yourself. I looked up the information because I'm paying attention, because I am a helper. I'm a servant. There are people I need to help who's on assistance. So I can't help them if I don't have some type of idea as to what's going on, right? So here's the thing. According to what is on Google with the news that they're reporting, there's going to be a large, millions is what they're saying, of homeless people who will get evicted. Why? Because the program is going to be so low with funding. Okay? So I'm to the thought of, this means that some people who need it won't have it. Is there anybody else? Who is viewing it that way, or am I off the mark? And it's okay to disagree with me. You don't have to agree with me. Also, if anyone is thinking that this isn't just affecting, I don't know what that is. It's a white, as the snow driven and looking to be on the same streets again. I'm gonna kind of try to understand what you just said. It's not a race thing. It's not a race thing. It's not. But if we take away funding, okay, it doesn't matter if you qualify. If there's no funds there, then what are you going to get? I really don't want to keep y'all because it's over an hour and I don't want to go over an hour. But I have to give an analogy to help some people, because I think that I was prompted to do this video because people need help. And I didn't realize that I needed to do a video to help people. I just thought I had to do the footwork and help people. I didn't realize I had to do a video. I so much appreciate that statement that was just made by this lady, because we actually have people who think that just because they qualify, that they're going to automatically just receive these funds just because they qualify. Oh, I'm gonna get my housing voucher because I qualify. I'm not fraudulent. I'm not any of that. I qualify, right? Well, think about this. Have you ever been in a position, or have you ever helped someone who was homeless or didn't have a place to stay, and you've taken them to every place? It could have about 10 different places, and you've taken them to all of the Section 8 places to kind of go with housing assistance to see if they can get some help. You know what they all say when I take people, because I've done this in my own car. Oh, here's an application, or fill this out and we're going to put it on file because right now we don't have space. Okay? And when we get space or have a vacancy, we'll give you a call. We'll put you on the waiting list. Well, don't they qualify, but they can't get it? So let's look at in the instance of you qualify, you're in your housing, you're in your place, but then your landlord comes and say, oh, they're not going to pay, or your voucher hasn't been approved because they're saying that they don't have the funding and they only have X amount of people right now receiving assistance. Okay. And until somebody moves or somebody dies or somebody does something to break the rules and get put out, we don't have space right now for people. Like, I just that's just the way that I view it. Please do not think that just because you qualify that there's going to be funds there for you to receive it. That's all I'm saying. Daryl in Washington says it's going to affect everyone. It's not about your race, anyone. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. I pray that everybody got some assistance and some help. If you don't receive the Section 8 or the housing, you know somebody who do. Okay? You know somebody who do. Have them to email somebody to see where they stand with their voucher. If you know somebody who's fraudulently in apartment and you have a relationship with them, go to them and say to them, you know that this ship right here you own, you know it's about to stop. You've been sailing on it, it's getting ready to come to an end. Okay, we all have somebody that we can help, and for those who really do need it, go to them and ask them, do they have children? Go to them and ask them, do they have a sister that's still living? Is it just them? If a person lives in Texas, they might have to live in California. If a person is in New Jersey, they might have to move to Mississippi. Why? Because they may have to go with a family member. Okay. They said they're going to cut Section 8. Yeah, Section 8 is going to be cut. Anybody who wants to read, you can go online and read it. It's readily at your disposal. I came on because it took me a few minutes to gather myself, and I said, let me go on live so I can go share this information with people. They're saying in the news that they're expecting millions of people to be evicted and homeless, and it's not making headlines. It's not making headlines, and it's not going to make headlines because that's not something they want to talk about. We distracted with other things. Thank you, woman of God, for this information, because it has it was put on the back burner. Right, people are not paying attention, and I want October to September is our physical year. We're in June. People don't have much time. People thinking they have January 1. I pray that everybody is blessed. I pray that everybody on this live and everybody who will come and watch the replay, who's in a situation as it pertains to being evicted or have a housing assistance, or you know somebody who have housing assistance. For the people who were on here who have moved in, family members, I pray that our Lord Yahweh would make a way out of no way, and that every person who does their part, which is what? First, pray, and then second, get the moving and doing your part. I pray that everything works out for you in some way. I'm redundant on purpose for those of you who said, she done thanked us 3-4 times. I'm going to thank you again. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for sharing the video. And thank you for subscribing, because you did not have to. And guess what? Stay tuned, because I'm going to keep you updated with what you need to know whenever they put something out there and then they go and hide it and tuck it away because they trying to distract us. I'm going to always come and let you know why. Because you need to watch and pay attention so you know how to pray. All right? You guys be blessed, and I love you all.